Hello and welcome back to Dial H for Heroclix. I'm your sexy ranch hand co-host Kalder. This is episode 311. This week we're talking about the official, semi-official opening date of the Alliance distribution. We cover some value corner, some hidden gems, some community questions, and so much more. So howdy, let's get rowdy.
My stuff.
Dial H for Heroclix is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, including all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products. Make sure you check them out at CoolStuffInc.com. Use code DIAL5, D-I-A-L 5 for 5% off your Cool Stuff Inc. order. It lets them know that you are listening to the show and that their sponsorship isn't just like throwing money into an incinerator, but that actually people are going to their website and buying things because they've listened to it on the show. Even though I know it's 5% off, it could be a lot more, but you know how it gets to be more, guys? Are you ready for this? If you use the code, hey! Also, if you use it, I want to try to get a Cool Stuff Inc. sponsored tournament here in either June or July, so I think that would be really cool. So stuff like that. Keep that in mind. Support the people that support us, and then we'll just keep supporting you, baby. That's how it works. Anyways, he's been chomping at the bit all day to get on the show, so let's bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, my nemesis, Simeon Bruce!
I'm the best at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice.
There he is. What a guy. I still think you should just go for it. Shave the chin and under the chin part of your neck and have the Wolverine mutton chops. That'd be so...
And I was going to get... they don't actually have adamantium, but I was going to get like a metal that I could afford grafted to my bones. They're just not doing any outpatient procedures right now.
Oh, yeah?
So I have to wait until... Yeah.
All that adamantium you could have totally normally gotten. Thank you for making it clear that like you couldn't physically actually buy adamantium.
No, I'm way too broke.
Right.
If we get our next Patreon goal of $10 billion a month, I will research into adamantium and go through with getting it grafted to my bones. Although in the comics, most people die because they don't have a healing factor. I definitely think that I will survive thanks to modern medicine. Yeah.
Ah, that's right, modern medicine. Because everybody else that happened to them, it was just like the 80s or 90s, right? So yeah, modern medicine. 30 years is enough to graft metal to bones. You're right.
Or if it doesn't go well, then I'll just go the cyber or the cipher route, whatever. Cypher. I don't know.
Cypher.
The guy that has it grafted to his skin.
Oh yeah.
But somehow he still moves his like hands and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's little plates.
Bad
I'll be like
Colossus.
a snake.
Is it Cypher?
Yeah.
No, Cypher's somebody else.
It might be just
Uncanny
Cyber.
X-Men? Is it Cyber?
I don't. Yeah, he had like poison tipped claws.
Wolverine of the X-Men. Yeah, there he is. Hallucinogenic claws. Adamantium skin. That's your guy. There he is.
He makes Wolverine see. He has like a trip where he's in like a tiny sausage car, and Cyber's in a big sausage car.
Oh,
and
like
Wolverine feels inadequate. Yeah, literally. Except Wolverine's is pink, and Cyber's like driving off with like some lady, and Wolverine's like, "I wish I could have a lady. I'm just stuck in this acid trip." It's a weird comic. Sam Keith did that one.
Comics are weird? No way. All right. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Heroclix podcast. We do like to start off with what made us happy this week. Simeon, you want to go ahead and start us off with that, huh?
Yeah. So what I am actually good at, I'm mediocre at, I'm okay at is reading books, and I finished a book this weekend, so that was great. I'm trying to make my way through all the Dresden Files, which, if you don't know, is like Humphrey Bogart meets Harry Potter. It's like he's like a wizard, kind of like if Constantine took house calls and wasn't as comic-y. It's like that. He's a wizard.
Harry Dresden. Didn't know you knew how to read. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Yes. And there's no pictures except on the cover.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a real life book.
Wow. Another round of applause. I'm impressed. I am impressed. What made me happy this week is I got to put in some fence. I really don't normally enjoy making brand new fence. It's a lot easier to fix older stuff, unless the person that made it before me was a complete idiot in how they fixed it, how they built it, and how they did whatever. But if it's like a normal, like a fence I repaired before, and I just got to repair it again, it's normally pretty easy. But I got to make H braces.
Who put this in?
Yeah.
Oh, it was me? Dang.
Yeah. Whenever I build something and I get lazy, like if I've been there for like 8 or 9 hours, and I'm like, wow, this fence is still just so bad, and I just keep driving through it, and I just keep seeing more broken parts. I can always tell when I go back a year later to fix it again, at what point I stopped caring, like how much the fence was actually structurally sound. Not that anyone's going to know what any of this means, I guess, but like if a wire is sagging, it's not tight or whatever, instead of like cutting it and then stretching it using a wire stretcher, I will just twist it a bunch of times, which makes it very
wire
weak.
Stretcher?
Yeah, a wire.
You mean a claw hammer?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the lazy part, when I use like a claw hammer and just twist it, and like, yeah, that's terrible. It makes a weak point not good. Not a good idea, especially if it's rusty wire, it'll just break anyways. Yeah. Terrible. But no, I made H braces and I made gates. I like making gates because it's this beautiful dance between making it tight and taut, but not too tight where like people weaker than me on the ranch can't open the gate. So it's a fun little thing to do. It's always fun.
That's interesting, because maybe that's like a metaphor for like you want to make a gate so that you can open yourself to other people. Like a metaphorical gate, you know. We should delve into this part of your psyche.
I really should. I need a deep dive. I offend a lot of people. Sometimes I'm real rough on the outside, but I think if they knew the real me, it would be different. Anyways, Heroclix podcast. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a lot of news, so let's get into it. Did I also not look it up before I said it? Yeah, I sure did. The semi-official, non-official news is Alliance has a date when they're planning to reopen distribution. It said they'll totally know on the 18th. We're recording this as of the 17th, so maybe by tomorrow we'll have some real information, or maybe not.
Yeah, but you should already know if you know where your products come from, because they said that they're just going to like follow state laws, and I think there's 4 or 5 Alliance distribution centers throughout the United States. I think it's 4. I don't know. I haven't checked in a long time. But basically, if you're close to an Alliance center and that state doesn't have like a full shutdown in effect, then that center will probably reopen, and so you'll probably get product.
Oh yeah, baby. I can already taste those Heroclix on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah. Simeon, we answered this on another podcast, Clixing It. Check that one out. Me and Simeon were on the last podcast they did, episode 21.
20-something.
Yep. And now I feel bad. Because it was literally Thursday we did that.
I want to say it was like 23.
I don't think it was 23. I think it was 21 or 22. Adam's going to listen to this, and he's like, wow, guys, I see how it is, huh? You bastards. All right. So, anyways, check that one. You should check that out anyways. I'm going to slap that in news because it's news.
It was
this
22.
Is the first time that someone had asked Simeon to be on a show other than ours. Is that not correct? Is that not true? I'm pretty sure, right? This is your first crossover, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so that was Simeon's first crossover. Pretty big.
Not super popular in the Heroclix world.
But we already knew that.
I've ruffled a few too many feathers in my time.
Well, I see your snide Facebook comments.
Yeah. I still see them. I look at them every day.
Geez. All right, but yeah, check that one out. It was a ton of fun. It was a really fun podcast. It's not bi-weekly. That's every 2 weeks. They're like double weekly. I don't know what to say this, but they make 2 podcasts a week. So if you really want some quarantine content, that is. I mean, obviously we also make Thursday Throwdown, and then let me say that again, Thursday Throwdown. Okay, and then We also do a podcast. So obviously we're pumping out amazing content every week, but they also pump out double podcasts a week, and they're also doing their own bracket. So really cool guys over there. Go ahead, check them out. Is that all we have in news? Alliance, it's going to happen. Let us know, listener, if you're going to buy anything from any Heroclix at all. Oh, because me and Simeon aren't, I don't think. I think you had one brick for JLU. Is that it, right?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do like some sealed stuff, and then I'll buy like random boosters here and there, but I'm mostly just going to get singles because really there's not like outside of like a couple super rares, there's not like a ton of stuff that I want out of the set. Not that it's a bad set, I'm just after looking over the team up cards, I'm like, I can super pass on all of that. I do not need it. Also, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming out after, so I'm going to need to hedge my bets for that stuff. We do have a little bit of news, I guess. Have we covered the WizKids store and what they've updated it with?
Oh, did they update it? I was unawares of such an update, Simeon, by all means.
So WizKids now has, let's see, under their new releases, they now have some Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Okay, sure.
And no new Heroclix, so it's the same con exclusives they had for like the last 3 years, and then some pre-orders that you can't really get any time sooner than you would at your local game store. So that's the update for that.
Yay, thanks. I hate it. All things I do not care for. So really quick,
I guess technically you can now. Black Widow no longer says sold out. You can pre-order Black Widow. It's $96 for a gravity feed, which most game venues will sell it to you for like $75, $65. Yeah. The Black Widow cycle is the MSRP of $14.99. So
it's not bad.
As long as you're getting the free shipping, which is orders over 50, you can pick up a Black Widow cycle on pre-order at cost-ish.
Okay, well,
exciting.
Right on. It's good to know the WizKids store is still a thing that exists, and that's about it.
There.
Yep, still there. But all right, so that is news. Just to go back to JLU really quick, there are about 14 figures I want from that set. So I normally, and 2 of them are generics, I normally buy a set if I want 30 of the figures, like roughly half the set. So I don't quite need this set, but I need 2 of the chases is the only bad thing about it. So I will have to buy a bunch of singles, maybe a brick. Big maybe on the brick. But yeah.
I'm probably going to pick up some of the Cadmus scientists, one of each Amazo. I need a dark side. I already have like most of the other figures in one form or another. Yeah. So, although like the Brainiac would be super sweet, it'd be super cool to have like 12 of them.
But 10-point chase Brainiacs.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that's the rough part about these chases. The fact that they're at 10 points, it makes me want to get a ton of them. But that's gonna be crazy expensive to do that. Really insane. All right, so that is it with news. Let's go ahead. The highly sought after, wanted segment tonight. We're gonna go take a trip to the corner, Simeon, aren't we? Taking a trip down to the corner.
Ooh, you mean the value corner?
Hey, Michael, look at this.
Heroclix.
$8.
That's a good deal.
What's the good deal, Simeon? I know you like to bring me to the value corner, the Silver Age, the Golden Age, Silver Age value corner value. You like to bring me down to the corner store, kick off the dust, and be like, hey, check it out. Brand new in stock. What are you selling today? What's today's deal? Today's special.
Calder, this is a figure that I know you've grown to love over time. So I'm not going to spoil it by just giving you the name right out. I'm going to make you work for it a little bit.
Okay.
We've got 4 range, 3 targets. Triple target, always a good thing. 4 range, could take it or leave it. But let's continue. Flight, good. Sidestep top dial. 11 attack with a special attack power that is unravel your soft defenses. Incapacitate. When this character uses it, opposing characters can't use super senses or shape change for that action. So you've got a triple target incap. and the opposing characters don't get their 2 rollouts for it. So that's fun. This character clocks in at 50 points. They've got a second trait, or a second power, on their first 2 clicks, and this is the one that Kalder really likes. That is Weave a Disguise.
Now I know who it
Shape
is.
Change. Adjacent standard friendly characters can also use Shape Change. So for 50 points, this is... Who is it, Kalder? Masters of Evil.
I hate this chick so much, but what is her name? Wow.
It's like Skyne.
I was gonna say Siren.
The green glob of awfulness. No, she's pretty solid. So not a terrible like tertiary attacker. She can kind of lock down people if they get too close. Sidestep flight means that she can potentially, like carry like a person out of harm's way for free if she needs to. Decent taxi. But the main reason you're going to throw her on your team is she's got a solid defense. She's a 19 from range with her 17 energy shield. And then that shape change that she can give to every standard character. So if you add that to a team that has a bunch of solid defense already, or a bunch of super senses, then you've got 2 rollouts. If you throw in like some power cosmic or something, basically she's just a 50-point piece that can give 8 adjacent squares shape change, and there's nothing else in the game that can give out that much shape change. So it's just super solid. Kalder likes this character. He loves playing against it. He likes not having Battle Fury.
See, when you said he loves this figure, I knew it was instantly going to be a character that I hated, but I didn't realize it was going to be one I really despised, So here we have Skyne. Oh, I do hate her so much, though. This just talks to me like how good she is with that shape change power, because it sucks to play against. No Outwit, no Battle Fury. If you don't plan for something like that, it's just like, here you are. And even if you have Outwit, she's behind all these stupid people. Ugh.
Yeah, positioning is important with her.
It's huge. But that makes it easy. She has sidestep and flight, so positioning is not the hardest thing to do with her either.
I think any team that's got any 400 point build and up, she's a potential, because there's just so many cheap 50-point figures that you can fill out like a rough and tumble team with her right in the middle.
No, he's right. You try to give me a deal. It's a brand new set. I mean, it's the last Heroclix set that was ever released, potentially of all time, for all we know. So what a note to end on. But she is an uncommon, but she's good.
Yes, uncommon, number 34 in the set.
I'm going to say I don't think there's a way in my mind that she's under $1 just yet. So I'm going to say she's like $1.50 locked in. I think she's a little pricey for an uncommon.
See, I think she rolled her shape change on a couple of those figures you got there, because she clocks in on CoolStuffInc.com at 49 cents.
Ooh, very solid. Okay.
Or if you use code DIAL5, she clocks in right around 46.5 cents, because I don't know if they round up or down. So,
all right, awesome. Yeah, dude, Skyne, pick her up. I do hate her though. If you buy this figure, and you know that for some reason you're gonna play against me, don't play that figure, please. I'm gonna want to smash it into the ground. I hate that figure so much. Maybe it's because Simeon's online rolls are good, but I do hate this figure a lot. But that's because she's good. She's good. Shape change is fast and becoming my least favorite power of all time.
And they hand out a lot of super senses, but they don't usually hand out the super sense shape change combo.
Yeah.
And with her being able to give a whole team of super sensors, playing her with a bunch of Spider-Mans or something, where you've already got a solid super sense roll, and then you get a shape change on top of that. It's just a really good utility piece to have. She doesn't have so I should go over her keywords. It's just Celebrity, Masters of Evil, and Thunderbolts. So I would probably break theme anytime I play her, unless I'm playing a Masters of Evil team, and then I've got a lot of options.
She is 50 points. She can also be an Avenger.
Oh, that's very true. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can make her. I think I have done that actually. Now that you say that, I think that was like one of the last teams I played physically was Skyne on an Avengers team or a Shield team.
Oh, right, Shield 2. Yeah. Absolutely. No, she's good. She's good. So, are we ready? Now are we ready to go into the mines of Moria? Not those mines, just like normal mines. We're going to go to the Black Hills, baby. We're looking for some gold. We're looking for some hidden gems.
But wait, wow, that looks like a diamond.
Rebirth. It was a set that came out. And, I'm sure it had some playable figures in it. But let me tell you something. A lot of it was hidden. And here's why. The set sucked. That's why. Prezzer card, what do you think about Rebirth? When you think about Rebirth, I already gave one away. But, what do you think? What figures come to mind when you think of Rebirth?
The potential that Citizen Steel had. Shazam being really expensive for a rare. Man, I think of how I still don't have a Starfire. The chases were really cool, but overcosted for what they did. Mr. Terrific never had the meta impact that I wanted him to.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that I usually go to.
Okay. What if I told you my favorite team ability was in the set?
Your favorite? Is it Titans?
No.
Is it PD?
Absolutely not.
See, we've got Batman Ally, Superman.
That's your three.
Ally,
that's your four guesses. They're done. You're done now.
JSA,
done with the guesses. All right, please stop. They're all so wrong.
JLA.
My favorite team ability.
I love +1 move.
It's so good. It just, oh man, +1 move. Huh. Oh baby. No, my favorite team ability of all time is none other than Outsiders.
Ooh.
Outsiders, ladies and gentlemen. For a quick reference on what Outsiders does, it's not on a lot of figures since it's a DC only team ability. And we don't get a lot of DC, nor do we get a lot of Outsiders. It is free. Choose a character, including this figure itself, within 6 squares in line of fire. Until your next turn, the chosen character's combat values can't be modified. Uncopyable. It used to be within 10 squares, and I liked it more when it was that way. I mean, obviously. But if your opponent had a ton of perplex, like if it was a Unimind or something that can only perplex itself, boom, Outsiders the Unimind. Now it doesn't have perplex anymore, etc., right? It can't modify any of its combat values. If you're worried about getting hit crazy hard by somebody with some crazy stat modifiers, plow, hit them with the Outsiders. Or if they have a lot of police team ability or something like that on their force, or they're going to, they kind of been using perplex to negatively modify your combat values, you can Outsiders yourself and keep your good static defense, right?
Also, if you're carrying...
Also that.
Like you have a Green Lantern carrying 8 people, you Outsiders them so they don't get that -3.
So Outsiders is just a super useful utility team ability. This character also has Batman Ally. I am, of course, talking about 046, the rare Red Hood. So for 75 points, I really think, number one, he was cool in Sealed, actually, but he never saw a lot of play. I didn't see a lot of people play him locally outside of Sealed. Batman Family, Martial Artists, and Outlaws is Jason Todd, Red Hood. 6 range, 2 bolts. The only kind of rough thing about him is he doesn't have any willpower. But that's okay. He makes up for it in really, really solid stats. He has basically 3 unique clicks, but he has 6 clicks of life. They all go the running shot click, the sidestep click, the plasticity click, and then it happens in the reverse order with plasticity, sidestep, running shot for the rest of his dial. So his running shot click looks like, and the stats are the same for each click too, which is really cool. So he has a 9 speed, running shot, 12 attack, energy explosion, 18 defense with toughness, and 3 damage with nothing on that click. He has 3 damage the whole time. On his sidestep clicks, he has sidestep with 8 speed, 11 attack with nothing, 17 defense with toughness, and 3 damage with exploit. And on his plasticity clicks, he has 7 speed plasticity, 10 attack with precision strike, 17 defense with combat reflexes, and 3 damage with probability control. I really dig a figure that is stealthed right away. And if you're going to hit him, you're going to hit him onto something that you totally don't want to be adjacent to, which is like plasticity, poison, combat reflexes. Like that really sucks. So even if they go up and base this guy, maybe they do 3 or 4 damage, they're going to hit him onto a plasticity click, and that is going to be crazy rough for them, or on an exploit click too. So his dial is already really solid for 75 points. What else is cool about him? He has improved movement, ignores hindering terrain, and ignores elevated terrain. So he's like a pseudo flyer. Can't carry, sure, but hindering and elevated are awesome to ignore, especially with the Batman ally team ability. He has 3 traits. First one is Dark Trinity. When Red Hood attacks, modify attack value +1 for each other friendly characters with the Outlaws keyword adjacent to the target. Not going to happen a whole lot. If you're playing Outlaws theme team, then yeah, sure. He'll have like a 13 attack top dial, which is pretty sweet. Then his second trait is sometimes I do things to annoy people. This is, I can vibe with that, Jason Todd. When Red Hood hits 1 or more characters after resolutions, roll a d6. On a 4 through 5, a hit character modifies attack value -2 until your next turn. On a 6, all hit characters modify attack -2 until your next turn. If you only shoot one guy, it's a 50-50 chance of him getting a -2 attack. If you energy explosion, hit a bunch of people, it's a harder chance, but you're still going to get one person with a -2 attack, like on a 50-50. That's pretty awesome. Or on a 6, they all modify their attack value -2. That's freaking crazy. He also has double targets, so if you don't energy explosion, you just shoot 2 different people. Same thing. Like, that is really awesome. And it's just hits with an attack, so he can hit one person, deal all the damage to somebody else, and then have them modify their attack value -2 if he wants to. So I really dig that trait. It's awesome. His last trait makes him a little bit harder to use, but I think in the long run, it's actually pretty good. It's a strict rule from Batman, no killing. Unless Red Hood's the only character on your force, when he would KO an opposing character with an attack, instead, that character is not KO'd, turn to their last non-KO click and heal Red Hood 1 click. So if you don't totally kill someone, you get to heal yourself a click, and then they're on their last click. I mean, now I guess you can just look and see that they're on their last click. That's no fun. But you'll know they're on their last click, and somebody else on your team can go ahead and take them out, and then you get a heal. So it's a way to heal, which is good, because like I said, doesn't have any willpower. I think this dude is super underlooked, and I overlooked him for sure. I'm definitely going to go buy one and pick one up. I think this rare Red Hood is freaking awesome. And on a gemstone rarity scale, let's see here. Let me get my rarity scale here really quick. First of all, Simeon, you want to say anything about this guy?
I love
try to remember what gems.
So like, there's 4 outsiders or 4 people with the outsiders team ability in Rebirth: Artemis, Batman, Red Hood, and Bizarro. Out of Artemis, Red Hood, and Bizarro, they all have these symmetrical dials where like not only the stats are the same, but the powers are like the same, like they're mirrored. I really like that effect. Jason Todd's here kind of looks like a skull because of like the way that they didn't give him an attack power on 2nd and 5th click. It kind of looks like it's like a little like a mask or like a skull kind of thing. Artemis's looks kind of like a viper, and it's got like, I don't know, like these little fangs on the bottom. And then Bizarro's is just what it is. I don't know.
Oh, because he's Bizarro or whatever.
But yeah, I just really like the cool like symmetrical dials that they did for these guys. I hope that's a thing that they keep doing. And I have seen it in other sets, but like specifically for the outsiders, it was just like a cool little,
right on,
not really Easter egg, but I don't know.
I wonder why. I'm curious what like the comic like reference would be. You know what I'm saying? Like Bizarro sort of has like a T, sort of, not really, in like his style or whatever he's got going on here. Artemis, I see the Viper for sure.
Yeah.
I see that. Red Skull. Red Hood totally has a skull. I'm gonna give Red Hood gemstone rarity here. I'm gonna give him Alexandrite. It's pretty middle of the road gemstone rarity, and I think he's just pretty solid. Maybe go as far to say as Pad Paradisha something. It's a sapphire thing. So let's go with that. Shouldn't have Googled this. Should have figured it out earlier. But here we are. So yeah, Red Hood, check him out. Play him. Ooh,
yeah.
Play something from Rebirth.
And 12 attack is...
12 attack's pretty good. It's pretty solid.
It is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing to point out with Outsiders and his plasticity is if you're tying somebody down with plasticity and you Outsiders them, they still get the -2 to breakaway because that's not a combat value. That's a roll.
Right.
So they don't get like, haha, you Outsiders me, so now I can breakaway on a 3 through 6 or 4 through 6. No, it's not a combat.
Not gonna happen. Sorry, babe. Sorry. Moving on. Before we jump into community, before we do that, I have to do a Patreon ranking up ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. So really quickly, we have a couple of really cool people ranking up. I still need to do the giveaway for April. I'm going to roll for that later tonight, live on Facebook. By the time you're listening to this, it's already happened. So if you won, you lost, whatever. Cry to ma. And then we're going to go ahead and figure out what we're going to give away for next month. I'm not buying a lot of Heroclix right now. I don't have a lot of extras. Not going to a lot of tournaments, buying a lot of random boosters. So I'm just kind of scrounging around what I have to give away. If we do get up to $100 on Patreon, I will give away a chase from Justice League Unlimited, and I'll actually buy a case just so I can get a chase, just so we can give it away. All right, sound good, guys? $100. That's the goal. All right, so you can change your support or have a friend in, tell a friend about it. Join in, baby. Support us on Patreon. I really appreciate it. All right, the ranking up is as follows. These people are going to be from Vigilantes to Protagonists, and that is going to be Tippy Toes Nuts, Teemu, Anthony Brown, and Chance McCall, all going up to the Protagonist rank. Going from Civilian to Vigilante is going to be our good friend John Karl. And moving on from the Protagonist rank to the Superhero/Villain rank is going to be Jedi-Legend. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. And like I said, check us out on Patreon. We give away stickers, tokens for certain tiers. And like I said, we do giveaways every single month. So yeah, check it out, guys. And now let's go ahead and move on into community.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
We went ahead and posted a little snippet on Twitter and Facebook about what you guys might want to see on the show, or if you had any questions. So we're going to go ahead and answer those questions now. So Simeon, if you are ready, you can do the first one on Facebook. If not, I have them sitting in front of me on Twitter here.
All right. So I just got a new one. On Facebook, the first one we've got. Why don't you throw me the first one?
Yeah.
Because
All right. So
I have some loading troubles.
Chance McCall says, question, have you ever been clowned on by a child in your Heroclix career? Simeon, you ever been clowned on by a kid? By someone you would classify as a child?
I've played enough younger kids that I'd feel okay calling them children. Man, have I ever been just truly? Yeah, there's a couple local kids that their dads bring in, they're getting into the game, and sometimes they'll just bring some weird busted team that they didn't realize was busted because they're just a kid. They're just playing the cool stuff, and they'll be like, haha, I hit you for 100 damage, right? And I'm like, well, no, it was 7, but my character still died. And he's like, he's dead, right? And I'm like, okay, yes, please leave me my dignity. So yes, it has
Short
happened.
answer is yeah. That's rough, buddy. That is rough. I have been clowned on. I've played against Isaac Arnold Berkovitz, who is our current Heroclix world champion, but I didn't really get clowned on by him. It wasn't 300 modern. It was a fun sealed event. I still lost, but it was a pretty even, fun game. He did have better polls, so I totally expected him to win anyways. And also, he is a better player, fact of life. So, and he's a great kid. His dad's super cool too. I wouldn't count that as being clowned on, but Simeon knows this better than anybody. We have a ton of local kids that are at my venue, and sometimes they play really terrible teams, and sometimes they play really good teams. But no matter what, it always feels like I get clowned on. Even if I beat them, the way they are, Simeon, you know what I'm talking about. Just the way they are feels like you lost.
Yeah.
Because you sat down to play against them.
Because, you had to sit there for several minutes in their presence.
Yeah. Sorry, Grant, Jonah, Tristan, specifically, you guys.
Yes.
You three.
Especially Jonah, because I know he listens.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
hate that kid so much. He was the only... I don't know why. I should have been able to beat him with my Jason Wingard team, with my quote-unquote, with the team Lucas made for me. That's what I should say. I should have been able to beat him with that, but I lost to him in practice and during the event. I'm like, I don't know why I couldn't beat Wales with it. I'm a bad player, but
I know I've cheated against him several times to win, so...
Oh, good. Jonah deserves it. He sucks.
Yeah.
All right. And I like how someone said, somebody tag Micah. Once you're a teenager, like 17 or older, I really don't count you as a child. Like a child, you know? Even though he's under 18, I think Micah Love might be 18. But I still wouldn't classify him as like a child, you know? He doesn't really act like a child. I'm just saying, like...
I don't think I've ever played against him.
I played against him twice. One at a Nationals qualifier, and then one during the weird event where it was Battle Royale maps only at Worlds. It was all right. He's an all right guy, you know? Not very talkative, very quiet. Very reserved. All right, first one on Facebook there.
All right, this is the one that popped up 3 minutes ago by Aries Edge. He says, "What stuff are you building for stuff?" I imagine he means like what teams are you building for like events?
Oh sure.
What stuff are you building for stuff?
Something else, I guess.
No. I don't know.
You answer that the way you're gonna answer it, and I'll answer it the way I'm gonna answer it.
All right. So what I'm currently building is nothing. There's not really any like events. I've been doing like the Thursday throwdowns. I'll eventually
YouTube.com.
I'll eventually like get around to like building more stuff. But right now I'm mostly just doing like some custom stuff. Like I'm like modifying like some Clix if I'm doing anything with Clix at all. I have been working on, what was it? I'm mostly just doing like fun teams. Like I haven't tried to make anything like competitive or interesting lately, and I haven't really been watching the brackets and like all the moving forward kind of clicks as far as the meta goes. So nothing in that vein.
Okay, the same main vein. I'm saying. All right. I actually have been doing a little bit of team building. I did a Lucas pointed that out last week. I built an illegal Batman Gotham City team using the new microphone Batman, but I built another team and it seemed all right. So I do quite like that microphone Batman. I like his little gimmick shtick he can do to blast you with the cool blue jazz from across the map. So it's pretty neat. But things I've been physically building during one of Aries Edge's Dish Talk live streams. Check that out at Dishin' Up Clix Facebook. They also have a YouTube channel. He goes live. If you don't know Aries Edge, he goes live all the time in Heroclix International Exchange, one of the biggest Heroclix groups on Facebook. And he goes live while he's just doing his dishes, and he just kind of has a little chat with everybody. It's pretty cool, pretty laid back. But like a few weeks ago, he was like, "Hey, there's that Kalder Nest guy. He builds stuff for stuff." Only I didn't say stuff the first time. And basically he's talking about like I cosplay and stuff, so he might be wondering if I'm building anything in the cosplay realm right now. And I am currently working on a commission for a fellow Heroclix player. Don't know if he wants to be named or not. That's fine. But he commissioned me to make a certain Heroclix character, but like as real life armor. It's not Iron Man, but like I don't want to tell any too specifics in case it's like gonna be cool and a big surprise. So certain Heroclix player commissioned me to make some armor, and I'm excited to get working on that. I just got all the foam in and all the supplies in today, and I'm about to make all that stuff. Next up,
that sweet Test 1 cosplay.
Yeah, baby. No. Next up on Twitter, we have Vigilante Collectibull. I should have said Protagonist Chance McCall when I said his name, I guess. He said, "Are you ordering Clix online or just going without Simeon?"
I haven't ordered anything, no. So until I can actually physically get something, I'm not worried about it. Also, all my local game shops are going to need some cash flow once, like I can only buy so many board games before I'm like, hey, no one comes over to play these. I'm just collecting these now. So I'm kind of like reserving all my purchasing for when my game shops open back up and I can just dump a bunch of money on them.
Okay. Just gonna like thank you for all the real life stock we got, guys.
Be like, I'll take 7 of those Fantastic Four starters, and they're like, but that's all we have. You're not gonna leave any for the children? And I'll say, no. Would Doom leave any for the children? Jeez. And then I'll laugh maniacally as I walk out.
Okay, Simeon. Right on.
Yeah.
I bought some Heroclix from a friend just because I knew he was going to use that money to buy something that he needed or whatever. But that's all I've been buying. So I'm just going without. I'm living life. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I did buy The Great Cthulhu online recently because somebody listed it at what I considered a reasonable price. It's been on eBay for like $300 for a long time.
Yeah.
One sold for like $75 a couple months ago. Might be the same one I just bought. I don't know, but it's a figure that I've just been really wanting for a long time to kind of complete my collection of Colossals because I think they're the best. If I'm gonna spend, $150 on a statue, it might as well have a dial that I can use, which this one doesn't.
Sure.
This one doesn't have a dial I can use. It's Heroclix, but I'll put it on a table someday.
True. Oh, wow.
All right. John Karl on Facebook says, now that you guys have played with some of the older figures, what do you guys miss? I know Simeon wants Sidestep, but is there anything else you appreciate more after playing the original figures?
I miss
Powers.
Willpower.
I miss all the power. Like, man, I hate paying like 130 points and having one move and attack on the top click and then nothing the rest.
Yeah. Yeah, also just powers consistently throughout it, just something, baby. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can get by with the stats. I actually kind of like that the stats dip really bad.
I enjoy that. I haven't hated that, to be honest with you. It makes for fun.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
In current Heroclix, the way that I have to play is like there's a big threat on the table, I have to KO it. In Thursday Throwdowns, I'm like, there's a big threat on the table, I have to hit it for like 4, and then it's just done. Like, it's got like a 7 attack now, and I don't have to worry about it the rest of the game, really, until I hit that sweet 11 defense or whatever that my character has.
Yeah.
But I do like the stats. I just really don't care for the fact that, like, 2 clicks in, I have no powers left. Like, maybe I have a defense power, maybe I have, like, a support power, but, like, most of the time my move and attack's gone.
Yeah. I know, I just really miss Indom. Man, I miss Indom. Wow. It is wild. That's all I have on Twitter. The rest of them were, like, suggestions to do, et cetera, like what we did tonight, Value Corner, Hidden Gems. So just keep reading on Facebook there, my man.
All right, here's a really good one. Christian Bogan says, how do you feel about the increase in online events? Should there still be the same amount when quarantine is over? Personally, I like that I can get a day or two between matches. So I'm not sure if he's saying like he likes the online events because he can get a day or two between matches, or if he's saying like he doesn't like online events because he likes, I don't know. I feel
like he likes them. Right?
Yeah,
I imagine.
So my feeling about it is I imagine that they're going to drop off a little bit as people with regular venues start going back to their regular venues.
Sense. Like, that's to be expected. And I would want them to. I would want there to be not as many online events when there are also real-world events that I could be showing up to, playing the game I prefer to play.
Yeah. I think we both know, like, plenty of people that, like, either don't have a lot of regular venues or aren't close to, like, a regular venue, so online's their best route. And I know, like, Chad Birdsall and Jay have been, like, pumping out ROC events well before the whole, like, quarantine thing. They were doing, like, I think 2 Winamaps a week.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I imagine that they had enough people back then, and so they'll probably continue. If anything, this has helped more people see that online's, like, a viable way to play. It's just not the funnest way to play.
Right. And I mean, it's not the way Heroclix was meant to be played, but I enjoy online events. They're alright. They're cool.
Yeah, I imagine
like, they're going to keep going pretty strong.
Tournaments will probably switch back to like the physical thing. Yeah. It is cool that like people don't have to drive to like quote unquote show up to a large tournament.
That is nice. I do like that. Yeah.
The one problem is, man, I like to like show up to a tournament and have people to like talk to and hang out with and like see like physically see like what people are building with and like how they're doing. With online tournaments, I usually only see my opponent's builds and I don't usually worry about like who I'm not playing. So
Very true. Very true. All right, next up.
All right. And then we've got McConnell Lamar says, Calder Ness, how did you enjoy ROC Online's 400-point Golden Age tournament? What would you like to play if it was ran again?
Whoa, that's me. Cool. I really enjoyed it. It's the first ROC event I've played in all of quarantine so far, because I'm going to be real with you guys, I don't care about post-rotation, and I don't really like 300 Modern that much, but Golden Age... No, I played. That's like me, just like scarfing it down. Give me more Golden Age. Now I did play an all modern team. That's because I phoned it in. I was like, Golden Age, no matter what it is, I wanted to give Golden Age my money, just period. But I also phoned in making a team because I was really tired that week, and so I had Lucas make me a team, and it was an all modern age team. Sure. But still, it was for a Golden Age event, which is cool. And I got to play against Golden Age figures, which is cool. Still a ton of modern stuff, but enough Golden Age stuff, which made it cool. And if there's another Golden Age event run again, I would actually work hard to making it an almost all Golden Age team, except for maybe a few support figures or something from Modern, because Modern has some of the best point-for-point support figures out there. But yeah, no, I love Golden Age events. You should do more. I want more people to be interested in doing the Golden Age events. I think every Golden Age event should sell out. If you make it so you don't have to own the figure, it makes it a lot easier building Golden Age. But obviously, we still need to own figures. That's very important. I totally agree with that. So, yeah, more Golden Age events. Let's do it.
I always like anything higher than 300.
Because it was 400 points, which is just freaking awesome. I love 400 points.
And 300 Modern's fine for what's the nitty gritty, best of the best point for point that we can make and still have a solid team. But 400 really lets you stretch your legs and throw in those high point figures that you wouldn't normally build with because they take up half your build or something like that. But man, if you get them on a team and you've got enough synergy around them, they're great. So I always like anything over 300 and anything limited to go along with that. Although going post-rotation is kind of like a limited format again. There's a lot of special objects and retaliation, but other than that, without ID cards, it almost feels like we're back in a limited format.
Yeah. And there were restrictions on the Golden Age. I honestly wouldn't mind the zombie team base being legal, just because I like the zombie team base. So, stuff like that. Black Widow did win the event, the new Black Widow, specifically 2 of them, and she is a force to be reckoned with. And people were thinking about, hey, you should just ban her or whatever. That was the guy who was playing her. That was his whole thing. He's like, I'm just going to play her until people see she's busted and that they should ban her or fix her or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's one mindset to have, I guess. I don't really care for that kind of mindset. But I would prefer to counter something,
People had the same mindset about Vulture when he was at his peak, and people hadn't. But then people started figuring out ways to get rid of him.
There's also
or to nerf him. Now that he can be on theme teams, I don't know if he's come back as much as people thought he was going to. But yeah, there's always something new around the corner. So I guess Absolutely. A temporary ban might not be a bad idea, but
sure.
That's all we have on Facebook.
That's it. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions. We really crazy appreciate it. And let's go ahead and move on into Community Tuesdays.
Yeah. Community Tuesdays question.
The bumper for Community Tuesdays plays. And now, the Community Tuesdays question. What Heroclix figure do you wish was never made? I just realized that we normally just say Community Tuesdays right away, and we already did the community bumper. That's why. Duh. All right. What figure do you wish was never made, Simeon? And let's do 3 each.
Oh, man.
Each. Yeah.
So a figure that I personally hated facing off against. So a lot of the times it's combos. I hate what Kobik and Trader can do.
Yeah,
I think
combos suck. Be pizza or be a cracker. Don't be this.
Don't be a pretzel cheddar.
Yeah, don't be this whatever.
Three bean dip whatever. No, I think Kobik by herself is fine. I think Kobik Trader shut down too many teams, and I just think that personally, I feel, and I know that like a lot of people disagree with this, but personally, I feel that like a one-man army should be just as viable as a tent pole, which should be just as viable as a swarm team, and that should be just as viable as like a pog generating team. I just think that like it should be like there should be a balance to Heroclix, like how you can run different like decks in Magic, and some decks beat other decks, but like there's not like a single deck that just completely shuts down one style and also is good enough to beat like all the other ones. I mean, there is, but you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like there should be more balance to the game. As the prophecies foretold, someone should bring balance to the Force. But no, as far as a Heroclix figure that should never have been made, I never had to play against a Felix Faust, so I can't honestly say that.
Yeah, kind of same.
And I think like,
anyways.
Yeah, I think something like Tri-Sentinel would make more sense for me. Tri-Sentinel or like Unimind. Those would be like the two that I've played against enough where I'm like, there was like, they had no business making Tri-Sentinel as good as they did for 30 points and like giving it like keywords that just like fit like its playstyle like really well, all the free damage that it could do and stuff like that. And it's like coming from someone that played it a lot, and still occasionally like I'll play it. It's a cool figure. It's just not. And I think the thing, if I could stay on one mind track, the thing that really annoys me about Tri-Sentinel is that it is so bad on every other point line. It's literally the only like good reason to play it is for that retaliation. If you play it at any other point line, like point for point,
you don't like that incapacity.
The retaliation, yeah, like the retaliation click is just so much better than any of the other clicks. It's just, I don't know why. That's one thing that I just do not like about it.
Play 550 points for a top dial 11 attack value, and that's where its highest attack is. Yikes.
And then Unimind is just not so much for like 300 because he's like manageable in 300, especially now that he's rotating out. Mm-hmm. But man, he can ruin like 1,000-point game just by playing him at full. Like I don't know how many he can just have an infinite number of blue flames and then just perplex like all of his stats to the highest degree and have like whichever power best suits him.
That's why Outsiders is so good.
Yeah. But I don't normally play like Outsiders on a 1,000-point build. So it's like, it's just weird. This little like green glob has better stats than like 1,000-point, whatever figure, and he maxes out at like whatever 300, 400, something like that.
Yeah. He does kind of suck though, especially for a super rare. And like, that's the sculpt I get for a super rare. Seriously?
Yeah.
It sucks.
And he's fine, like as far as comic accuracy goes, but
I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. If you care about the Eternals,
who cares about Eternals? Like, they're getting a movie, I guess, someday. Who cares
for some
about
reason? Yeah, like I mean, no need to offend you, Mr. DP, but like who the heck cares? Like Unimind as a character, Eternals as people, yeah.
Well, if they had strapped that dial and power set on like Hyperion or like God King Thor or something like that, I would have been like, respect. That's like a Superman Prime.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about
strapped it on like a character where I'm like,
that are meta or whatever
character. Yeah.
If it's iconic, I wouldn't feel so bad. Like I never once my entire life have thought the Vulture as someone who could just mow through people. Not the Vulture. I don't care which version of the Vulture it is. I've never thought of him as like a crazy rampaging gonna murder everyone. If that was on a Carnage or a Sabretooth or a Wolverine or some, what I'm saying is like crazy people that could go berserk and just slaughter a ton of folks. Like a Carnage dial for that Vulture instead. Heck yeah, sure, that makes sense.
I'm gonna write a Vulture comic where he steals the Ock arms from Dr. Ock.
Yeah.
And this will be Blackie Drago to make it accurate to Heroclix. And then he'll have like a bunch of people pat him on the back and be like, "You can do it." And then he'll like get like really big muscles and like burst through a wall and just start mowing down the Avengers like one at a time.
Yeah, just killing them, dude. Like it is wild. So But my pick, it's got to be Mary Marvel. She's caused me so much grief. I hate her so much. To make it quick. So yeah, Simeon, go ahead. Read an answer on the old Facebook.
I do also sort of dislike the rare Spider-Man from ABPI.
Oh, sure.
He's just, sometimes I don't like him. First on Facebook, we've got Joe Dunn, says Felix Faust.
Fair. First up on Twitter, Little Plastic Superheroes says, hated Prime Nighthawk. Every time I faced him, my team would get picked off as they try to take him out. Faust would be a second, only because I feel like the Heroclix community as a whole has agreed not to play him, so I never see him anymore at casual games.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Nighthawk a few times. It's hard because it's like, do I focus on him? And like potentially, what did he have? Shape change or super sense? He had
really good shape change.
Yeah, he had some like really super good rollout. Plus, they like always hit him in the back because he didn't really need to do anything. Todd Butcher on Facebook says, every bad version of Black Cat. When will they make a newer, decent version of my second favorite character?
Yep.
Oddly specific.
Andrew said the Green Lantern of Gotham.
There you go. Wait, why?
That's it. The Green Lantern of Gotham. That's all we got. That's all I got.
For some reason, I was like, I was reading when will they make a newer, decent version, and then I was like, oh, a newer, decent version of Green Lantern of Gotham. But then I remembered this is a character that shouldn't have been made. So
yeah.
Okay. Tyler Murin on Facebook says, Nick Fury Shield Hulk was rough for my local homebrew games since it's the one thing my buddy built with all the time. Flash God of Death because I'll never get one.
Okay.
I also won't spend $120 on a Flash that I'll never play.
So much. Still.
Never made like a big impact on anything either. So
it didn't.
It's a super cool character.
Michael Fedor said Wolverine, 001, Cyclops, Regenesis Wolverine. So that is fair.
Yeah. Jeff Polier says San Diego Comic-Con 004 Harry Knowles. Although the public wasn't aware of it back then, he's a terrible person in real life. And it's a shame that one of the few pieces not based on a fictional character is this one. I don't know about him. But
you have to do a quick Google. I don't want to.
I don't need to. I'll just take everyone's word for it.
Okay, sounds good. Derek Benecti, he's a citizen, joined our Patreon recently here. Deadpool from the X-Men animated series. I understand what he was, but it was a pure waste of space. I don't remember him. I just watched all of the X-Men animated series. I do not remember when Wolverine had a bad dream and fought Deadpool or whatever. Like, I really do not remember a single episode that had Deadpool in it as a character that like spoke, or like maybe he just appeared for like half a second, maybe. Like, I don't remember. I know there's a time where Wolverine was like seeing people, like Nightcrawler showed up before he actually even showed up in the show yet, and like Wolverine like saw a hologram of like Nightcrawler, or like a vision of Nightcrawler, and he was like, hey, I'll be the Zane or whatever. So maybe it was during that episode that Deadpool like showed up for like a half second and was like, hey, hi, bye, or whatever. But yeah, I don't remember him having an impact, especially making a figure out of it for whatever reason.
Especially since we didn't get like other Department H like flashback figures.
Yeah.
There's some cool ones that we didn't get.
I would have been cool with a Silver Fox, a Maverick, etc. All right.
Let's see. Who's this guy? Daniel Powell says Chase Black Widow, Surtur, and Mini Shredder. Huh.
Not bad picks though.
I don't know. Yeah. I know Mini Shredder.
Danielle is on about. Yeah, totally. Not bad picks.
No, Dan Powell. Pretty solid choices. Surtur definitely with like the new change, being able to like walk up to you and deal penetrating damage. Mini Shredder, same thing. Anyone that can just do a free damage because they did nothing. I don't know. I like poison. Yeah. You have to like place, and like your opponent gets a whole turn where they can try and move away. This is just like happens on your turn, on your like accord, and there's not like a lot of great ways to avoid it. I mean, Mini Shredder helped win Worlds in 2018, so actually Surtur was on that team too. Maybe he has something against that team.
Big think. And then last one I'm going to read on Twitter is Dodgers88 says, how about mechanics? Colossal Retaliation and ID cards. Sure.
All right.
And that's
then,
5 for me. Did you read 5? Or just one more?
Let's see. I've read 5. I'll read one more.
Okay.
Tristan Campos says, The Dark Knight Metal Chases.
People wanted those to be made, but I think they also wanted them to be good, and I guess WizKids didn't care. It's like, look, they can be made, or they can be good. That's your choices.
They can be made, but they're going to be released in a DC set, so...
Yeah. Bad. Bad, I'm sorry.
Man, the fact that we didn't really get like a... Did we get a 2x2 DC con exclusive last year? I don't think...
I got the Batmobile last year.
That wasn't a 2x2, though. That was like a...
2x4.
3x6, or something. I don't know. But we got the Ghost Rider Mammoth. We totally should have gotten Barbados on a 2x2 sculpt. Like, he's ginormous in the comic.
He's a big boy.
The fact that he's only 11 clicks long is silly.
And, that ends communities. Let's go ahead and jump into Malcolm Rush question block.
I don't have that bumper loaded up. Weird.
You want to do it again? Go for it. Like we did last time.
That's in Japan!
Japan? No. I can't go to Japan. Malcolm Rush writes in this week.
Solid. Perfect.
Dial H has been doing Thursday Throwdowns. I'm going to ask a question about older Heroclix figures. Simeon, number 1. Which Heroclix... we answered all these on Clixonet, but we'll do them again on our own podcast for posterity's sake. Which Heroclix figures dials can hold up in today's modern game? Pre-carded? Carded? Question mark? Simeon. What holds up today?
Honestly, there's a couple that have solid opening attack dials. And so I've actually played some older figures on modern teams, pre-carded figures on modern teams. I usually don't go further back than Hammer of Thor, but something like Rasputin that I played that one game, he wasn't a powerhouse, but with the right team built behind him, actually all of those indie clicks with their team abilities, I think could make a solid tertiary attacking force or just support force. And then all the really cheap, there's some super cheap team abilities like PD that would make great PD fodder or mastermind fodder or whatever. And there's also just some really crazy cheap support power pieces.
Okay. My answer, zombie team base. I really think it's just that good. It 100% holds up today. It'll kill. It's awesome. Number 2, which Heroclix needs a big update, or what would you like to see on that kind of dial? Simeon. Updated figure. Hasn't been made in a while.
I think that Rasputin that I played is actually ready to have a decent update. Maybe give him a 12 attack with 4 damage instead of his 11 for 2.
I hate it.
9.
Change 9 attacks. What he has. He has an 11 because of all the whatever he did, but he has a 9.
Yeah. It changed the BPRD team ability to can copy uncopyable team abilities.
Okay.
Something like that.
Right. Thanks, I hate it. To go with zombies, I want Colonel America to be remade. I want him to have a stop click, kind of where he can't be healed past that point type deal, when he gets his top part of his brain head cut off and he's look what that son of a gun did to me. So I really want all the original zombies remade because it's cool that the villains are really good zombies, but the villains also didn't really do anything except get killed by the heroes during it. So let's get Iron Man, Spider-Man, Hulk. We've not once had a Luke Cage zombie made, so we need to have him made. He was a main player.
We didn't get Black Panther zombie either.
Yeah, we only have him being eaten. That's it, sadly.
Yeah. In Secret Wars, there was that whole section. What did they call it? The wall?
In the wall, yeah. All the zombies and Ultron drones were there. There was a Batroc Zeliper zombie, and I want a Batroc zombie so bad. That'd be so cool. It's just funny. Yeah. All right, number 3. Which Heroclix figure that has been retired do you want people to try in a fun game?
So there's this indie figure called Rasputin from the BPRD set. He's
the indie set?
Yeah, he's got solid range and somewhat decent stats. I think if you pair him up with some decent support and stuff, he can really shine.
Okay, thank you, Simeon. I would say Hammer of Thor, Captain America, and Captain Iron America. Both really cool, fun Captain America figures that I really enjoy playing in Golden Age games. Number 4, best worst favorite that has been retired. Run through them all, Simeon. Best worst favorite figure that's been retired, pre-carded and or carded.
Best, I'm gonna go with Exodia.
Ooh.
He's just like crazy imposing. Most people don't know what he does, even if they've played him before. And then like you put him down, and they're like, "Oh no!" And then stuff happens. I think he still does like 7 penetrating damage top click, which is crazy for a single base figure. Worst pre-carded would be like Dakin from whatever X-Men set that was, the only one that he was ever made in. He's so bad. He's like a faster, younger Wolverine. He's like kind of like X-23, and the only version that we have of him is like Pudsington. Like he's bad.
Puds. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's got like blades and leap climb. I'm like, great.
That's not what you're going with.
Yeah, get over that wall and then get attacked. And then favorite, favorite. It's been retired pre-card. There's this indie click called Rasputin.
Okay.
And I just really like the storyline because Rasputin, he was from Russia, and there was like a song about it.
Jeez.
And I just
okay. All right. So mine are shut up, Simeon. Mine are best is Zombie Super Skrull. Worst that's been retired is Faust. Worst in a sense that he is terrible. But he is obviously too good. And then my favorite that's been retired is Sam Cap. Sadly, out of all the Captain Americas I think of that I really miss once rotation hit, it was old Samantha here. That was sadly number 1. Wasn't even Steve Rogers. Real shame. Number 5, best worst favorite Heroclix sculptures that is retired, pre-carded and or carded. Simeon.
Best, the Spectre, the big old guy with his fist up in the air and all the yellow souls around him. It's just super cool. Worst sculpture, I'm gonna go with the old Metallo from whatever set that is. I also can't remember, where he's like half metal arm, his face looks like it's melting.
Oh yeah.
Like he was sculpted out of Play-Doh, and someone was like, "Is that a man?" And they're like, "Nope, his face is literally melting, and you can see a giant robot arm." And they're like, "Ah, okay." And then favorite, I'm gonna go. Let's see. I've got so many cool colossals. There's a serpent. There's Master Mold. There's Galactus. There's this indie click called Rasputin, and he's got like a sword. He doesn't have any blades on his dial, but he's got this like sweet sword and this sweet beard, and he just looks really imposing.
All right. Okay. For best, we actually had the same. I said Spectre as well. Spectre's pretty cool. It's pretty crazy awesome. For worst, I kind of say this guy for almost every time anyone asks a worst sculpt question has to go to Low T Superman with the shoulders in and the arms at his side. Keep forgetting what set he's from. Low T Superman. That's my nickname for him. Favorite
not Project
sculpt,
Superman.
That is not Project Superman. This is like actually like he's supposed to be normal Superman, but he looks all gangly, weak, and just bad. And then my favorite is Iron America that has been retired. Love that sculpt. Really cool. And then, which Heroclix retired figure should go into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so we already kind of like discussed how this should like work.
Yeah.
Or at least how I think it should work. I think anything that wins like tournaments, like major tournaments, like a Nationals or a Worlds, should just be like inducted. So, like Mini Shredder would be like make sense. Then of course make a Hall of Shame for things like the one that Paris Gordon won with. I don't remember the name of that one.
We're going to put one in quotation marks.
Goblin King won one year. Did Jakeem Thunder ever win? He should probably go in just because he came close.
For a
minute.
Yeah.
If Goblin King hadn't came out that year, Jakeem definitely would have been in like the running. I mean, he came in second, so I think. But yeah, just like stuff that's won, because clearly, if it can go the distance, then, You don't hand out Hall of Fames to people that never won titles.
Yeah, that's true.
Just ask The Rock and Mankind and who else is in there? Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan and
don't name them all. All right,
Chris Benoit.
My Hall of Fame. No, why?
Oh, is he not in the Hall? He should be.
No,
he was a world
not.
champion at one point.
Jeez. All right. My Hall of Fame has to go to the Zombie Team Base once again. Sorry, Zombie Team Base is freaking awesome, and I love it. So thank you for the questions, Malcolm. And he says to check out Thursday Throwdown on YouTube because it's a really awesome show. Make sure you guys vote. If you don't like what we're playing, you can change that. You have the power of the vote, and really your vote matters a lot because we use them for tiebreakers, all sorts of stuff. And if it's a good idea, other people might see that vote and be like, that's a good idea. I'm going to vote for that. So vote. Facebook, Twitter, Discord, vote.
And if you don't have 50 minutes to watch it, just look at the thumbnails because those are fun too.
Those are pretty fun. I have a fun time making them. Simeon has
Calder
a fun
throws
time.
them together.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's fun. It's pretty good. All right, moving on to a Jedi-Legend Heroclix tip of the week.
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Heroclix tip of the week. Going Golden Age, don't forget you can rescue a captured
Too many
character.
death sticks.
Jeez, Simeon. Always on the death sticks by old Alon Bayano. Going Golden Age, don't forget you can rescue a captured character by declaring a power action, rolling 2d6, place a token on the freed character who can then take an action this turn. Capture/rescue is handy for scenarios too, he goes on to say. I'm going to be honest with you, I've never once played a single game with the capture ability ever. But,
Never played Krampus?
No.
Or the PD
never.
cars?
And I wanted to. I actually thought Krampus was cool. But I've never once owned him. So if you ever run into capture, bam, there it is. I like his I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue you little gif. That's quite cute.
I'm a big advocate for Heroclix needing more ways to win than just like KOing more of your opponent's points than your own, like them KOing yours.
Yeah.
Alternate win conditions. I know people are like, oh, like that doesn't work. They've tried it with like Black Swan and like capture and like this and that.
Black Swan was cool,
but like
it would have worked more.
Yeah, like I think if you what's that one map, the like Gotham Museum, where it's got the jewel that you can like steal multiple times and get like a +1 to speed and attack.
Yeah.
It's so not worth it because Perplex is way easier and like it's just not worth it. But if it was like you collected this jewel like 5 times before your opponent does and you like just win the game, like you score your opponent's total.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
You could build a team like based around that map and like you don't win map, like shucks, maybe you lose the game. You do win the map, your opponent has to try and like stop you. And like, I don't know. I just feel like that'd be a fun challenge to throw in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's go ahead. And it was Jedi-Legend's birthday a few weeks ago. Totally forgot about this. That's on me. I'm a forgetful guy. So let's go ahead and give him a happy Arabian birthday.
Happy birthday. Hey. Happy birthday to you.
All right, and thank you so much for supporting the podcast, my man. If you want a happy Arabian birthday for someone in your Heroclix group or yourself, go ahead and message us. And maybe several weeks after your birthday, it'll be on the show. Hey, just being honest. I normally try to do these every week. This is like the first time it's happened where I totally forgot. But that's on me, baby. That is on me. So before we close out the show, I want to remind you can find us on iTunes, Podbean, wherever podcasts are found, YouTube, Dial-H for Heroclix, or youtube.com/Dial-H for Heroclix. You do Thursday Throwdown. Every Thursday that's uploaded, baby. And the podcast gets uploaded straight from Podbean to the YouTube. So that is really, 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 really cool. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter for our Community Tuesdays question and voting for Thursday Throwdown. Like I said, go ahead and check out the Patreon if you want to support all the cool, fun stuff we do here. We also post stuff on Instagram. It's at Dial-H for Heroclix, but that's really just to like, if you want to see close-ups of the thumbnails, I do post all the thumbnails for Thursday Throwdown on Instagram. So like that's like the one cool thing Instagram has that like not everything else gets. That is all I have to say for the show. Simeon, say something, read us out of here, do whatever you got to do, my man.
Yeah, I'm reading through the Old Man Logan Battle World series, so
Crazy.
we'll see how that
Not what
goes.
I asked, though. Kind of don't care.
All right. Well, instead, how about CoolStuffInc.com? That's a place where you can go.
Sorry.
We're brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day, from all the latest Heroclix singles and sealed products to like stuff that's actually going to be probably coming to your house soon. And use Dial 5 to get 5% off. Rack up those single points and get 15% off. That's cool. That's CoolStuffInc.com.
I feel bad because I like Old Man Logan. I like that storyline. So, but here we are. All right, that's the show, guys. Happy trails.